All right, welcome back to the Weekend Review. Once again, I'm Martin False. We're going to move to another segment as we saw it on Monday. And, of course, Dr. Craig Walker, not only locally renowned now, but world renowned. And his New Horizons conference in New Orleans has grown to unbelievable status. A lot of people involved in that. Also helps in the economy, not only in New Orleans, but people go out to restaurants and eat all around Louisiana. So we talked with Dr. Walker on Monday's Bayou Time. Let's show you some of that interview.
This was the 11th annual New Horizons, but we've actually done 13. The 11 is a little bit of a misnomer because the first two were for podiatrists.
And I don't want it to be a secret to people in Houma, because it sure is not a secret around the world. Is it true every inhabited continent was present this year at the convention?
That's right. We had people from many different countries. All of the continents except Antarctica were represented by attendees and faculty, and it's a pretty big conference, the biggest peripheral vascular conference in America.
All right, so way back in the 80s, you have this vision to bring heart care to the area. Starts out in Houma, Terrebonne Parish. Tentacles start reaching out, starts growing. Then all of a sudden, and I've attended some of these conventions, they're getting huge. The obvious question, did you ever think it was going to get that big?
No, I didn't think our practice would get as big as it did either. All I was ever really focused on in terms of practice was trying to do the right thing for the right reasons and really deliver good local care. Very quickly, we grew out of our box here. I mean, we went to other places because for a while we had such rapid expansion, it was impossible for the hospital to keep up in terms of space. The same sort of happened with the conference. We had an idea that perhaps we could do a better job in terms of teaching how peripheral vascular disease could be treated. Our goal was to make this user-friendly, to show what is state-of-the-art work, and it worked. People got very excited about what was going on with these educational forums that we were doing. And so we set this up, and what has happened is people come once and then they keep coming back and they bring their friends.
Now, what are they doing in these shots we're looking at? They're listening. Is that a panel of doctors?
Yes. I guess there are about 10 guys on this panel from many different countries as well. And we're doing live cases, in this case from Houma.
There's you in the cath lab.
Yes. But there were live cases done this time from Germany, from 6 other places in America. And these cases are all state-of-the-art cases with an audience really zooming in to watch. Sometimes in the audience during these live cases, we're in excess of 2,000 people.
Now, when I went to interview you at Terrebonne General, you just performed a procedure which went very well. You said something that sort of hit me that was different than you've said over the years. You all have been able to talk the manufacturers into doing longer catheters. You got clout now to the manufacturers, don't you?
Yeah, we do. In fact, we sit on the advisory boards of most of these companies in terms of helping to make better equipment. When we first started doing some of this work, it really wasn't done anywhere in the whole world. Like anything else, as you start to do something, you realize you need other kinds of equipment to allow you to reach places you couldn't reach, or longer balloons, or longer stents, or different kinds of stents, or different kinds of balloons. And you really can't do that in a vacuum. You have to do that in conjunction with industry. And so we've built very nice relationships with industry to help us create the tools that we need to better treat this disease process.
All right, congratulations to Dr. Walker and his entire staff on a job well done. Well, when you spend a lot of years at the diocese and you're in charge of the Catholic schools, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. But one thing about Sister Immaculata Paisant, she got the job done. And that was some of the talk in the cathedral as many people went to honor Sister Immaculata for many years of service with the diocese. We had that. Chris Carter went to the cathedral and captured some of the Mass that was celebrated by the bishop. And let's now look in at some of those activities.
The Diocese of Oklahoma gratefully acknowledges Sister Immaculata Paisant for 25 years Max family. Please stand. And we know that Sister Mac has decided not to retire. She's just going to have a recycling. And so I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about from Sister Mac about what she's doing in the future because like the ever-ready battery, she ain't going down.
What can I say? It's been a wonderful 24 years. And I have loved the challenges of the role of superintendent. If that sounds strange, let me clarify. It is only because I had such wonderful people to minister with. This is true both in the schools and with the diocesan staff. I can honestly say I never dreaded going to work. It is probably harder to leave home than it is to leave home when I first entered the convent. The Maronites who entered the convent from Houma always referred to Houma as God's country. I'm from God's country. I sometimes found that strange, but now I understand. It's not the location, but it's the warm and friendly people who so reflect God's love here. I thank Bishop Sam and Bishop Gerald, who I served under, and Bishop Latina, who was the minister here in this parish, Father Vic, Louis Aguirre, and the entire diocesan staff for their love and support through the years. You have been like family. In my name, in the name of the Maronites, I thank the good people of St. Francis de Sales community for providing the housing for the sisters at the convent for all these years. It was truly a blessing, and I loved living here. I especially thank the school administrators, both past and present, for their outstanding leadership in the Catholic schools and helping form the youth in their faith. I thank the other diocesan superintendents from the state of Louisiana who have been my companions on this journey of Catholic education. It has been my privilege to serve with you. I thank my family, who I am proud to have with me here today, for their love and support through the years. And last but not least, I want to thank Marion Fatita, my assistant, and Janet Marcel, the administrative assistant, who have been so wonderful to me and so good to work with. So let us keep each other in prayer, and God, thank you, and God's blessing always.
When I was called and asked to say a few words, about 3 minutes, about Sister Mac and her 24 years of service in our diocese, how can you possibly do that in 3 minutes? So I prayed about it, and I thought about it, and over, 3 words just kept coming to mind. And those 3 words are faith, passion for her vocation, and tenacity. I say faith because as an administrator in our diocese for 21 years, every one of our meetings begins with a prayer, and every decision she's made, every bit of wisdom she imparts to us, I could find a root in her deep devotion to God. It wasn't always necessarily her personal opinion, but it was her opinion as formed by her relationship with Jesus Christ. I say passion for her vocation because anyone knows she expected this diocese to have the best schools, but not only the best schools, that was just the foundation, to have the best test scores, but the best Catholic schools. And we would preach that for the last 24 years, and I think that our schools and the students, the thousands and thousands of people she has touched through the administrators and teachers are a testament to the job she has done for the Catholic schools in our diocese. I say tenacity, and if you belong to the Bessie board, if you are a member of the legislature that wanted to cut funding for Catholic schools, or if you belong to FEMA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I can tell you that if she was working for New Orleans a few years ago, that city would have been rebuilt in about a year and a half. They know that when she sets her mind to something, she does it. And she told all the schools that before she left, we would have our FEMA checks to help us pay for the damages of Hurricane Gustav. And I just got a nice check about 2 weeks ago. So I really need to thank Sister. So how do you sum up 24 years of service? It's very difficult. I guess we can say we loved you, we're going to miss you, and we thank you for the guidance you've given us and those who are going to follow in your footsteps. On behalf of all the schools, administrators, teachers, parents, and especially students, I say thank you.
David, I know what gymnastics is all about. Those are the places with my secretary, Assistant Mac wants to see us. One of the things I shared with Sister when she told me that she was going to make a decision was that it was the right decision at the right time. And one of the reasons I said it is that sometimes, even though we are, we stay longer than we should. And we're on a high, and then something happens, and we don't want you around. And we're on a low, we leave. And that's not fair. Because all the good that a person does is forgotten because of some little thing that happens, and they don't want to have this. This is man, you're on a high. Go while you're on a high. People remember all the good that you have done. We have some problems, yeah. You didn't do everything perfect. Yeah, we know that. But they remember the good. So you're not leaving with that. You're leaving on a good high note. So thank you for all that you've done and all that you do. And we pray that this is not the end of the Maronites in our diocese. We pray that sometime in the future, a Maronite will come back, come home, and a few Maronites will come home, and we'll have the presence of the Maronites again in our diocese. We pray for you. We pray for vocations for you and your community. We pray that God will not only bless your community, but in a very special way bless you in your golden years of not retirement, of moving on, and continue to plant the seeds that you want to plant as you move on in your journey. Thank you for all that you do.
Congratulations to Sister Immaculata Paisant. Job well done. All right, we're going to take a break now. Once again, we're reminding you, for any kind of breaking news or any news stories that you might have missed, you just go on our webpage, htv10.tv. And for instance, you can go to the Bayou Time tab on the top, and you push the button, and it brings you to the Bayou Time. You could watch the entire show as it plays. You see the play button, you just hit the play, and there it goes. So anything you might have missed, it'll bring you to it. So you could always push the tab, and we're going to have all our programs loaded up. You're going to see more and more as Harley Cortez is putting that together, doing a great job. So we are building our web page so that you can better keep up with news in and around the area. We'll take a break. When we come back, more of the Week in Review.